Come have fun with us and don't forget to subscribe.
What's up everybody, I'm Rick.
And I'm Anna.
And welcome to a review of the 1938 movie, Four Daughters. Now of course Anna, for those of you who don't know, this is our bucket list channel, a channel in which we try to realize the goals and dreams that are on our bucket list. One of those goals is for us to watch every movie that was nominated at the Academy Award from 1927 to 2028.
Did you hear that?
Yes, that is 101 years of movies. That's a lot of movies. We, so far, have watched 92 of those movies, the latest of which is Four Daughters, the movie we're going to be talking about today.
You know what I really like is that with every video, the numbers gets higher and higher and higher, and it just feels so good.
It does. It does. Almost 100. Adapted from the 1937 Fanny Hurst story, Sister Act, Four Daughters is a Warner Brothers movie that was released on August 9th, 1938. The movie tells the story of the Lemp daughters, Anne, Kay, Thea, and Emma, who belong to a family of talented musicians with their father Adam at the helm. To bring in extra income, the Lemps rent rooms in the house, which bring in composer Felix Dates and pianist Mickey Borden. Since the daughters are all of marrying age and the men are bachelors, complications arise when love enters the household.
I feel like this movie has at least one too many daughters.
You know, that's funny. That is one of the details that I was going to keep for later, but since you mentioned that, the movie was remade in 1954 as Young at Heart, starring Frank Sinatra.
Okay, are we gonna watch this movie?
And the role played by Garfield. And in that remake of the movie, there is only 3 daughters.
Okay, I guess maybe other people told them that at the time and they took the advice.
It does feel like one of the sisters is, kind of just there to be there. Which is also funny considering that 3 of the 4 actresses playing the sisters are sisters.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't notice. Did they have the same name like in the credits? I didn't even notice.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there was an extra one, like you said, in the story and in real life. Sisters aside, what did you think of this movie? Did you like it?
I did like it, but I feel like this movie didn't really give me anything. It's just a story of life with no purpose.
This movie kind of encompasses a few issues that I've had with some of the movies that we've watched, not all of them, but some of these old movies, which sometimes happen today still, is sometimes I'm wondering why. You're watching a movie and you just wonder, why was this made? Not that it's a bad story or a bad movie or whatever, but like, is there any reason? When you go to the producers or the director and you tell them, why did you want to tell this story in particular? Because after watching this movie, I just kind of felt like this is a movie where things happen,
Yeah. Like, what is the purpose? What is the message? What is the core of it?
Yeah. And I feel like there could have been something here about, human nature and jealousy and all of that, but it's not explored. It's not...
And it's not lined out, like specifically lined out in the story. Mm-hmm. It is not a story about jealousy. It is not a story about sisterhood. It's a little bit of all of these things, but it's nothing.
And a little bit of nothing at the same time. Yeah.
It's a story about these 4 girls and their suitors and their lives.
And we've had a very similar movie that we've watched for this list, actually 2, the same movie, Little Women, the 1930s version and the 2019 version, with 4 sisters, and following their lives, but
there's
Little
a
Women,
narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a very strong narrative.
And there's a voice,
Yeah.
And definitely in the 2019 version, there is a strong voice, a strong message there.
Yeah.
But even in the 1930s one, there is something that you take out of it. And then my second issue, which I've seen a couple of the movies we've watched have, is that a lot of the time it seems like things are just happening at a crazy pace. We don't get time to sit down with these characters, get to know them, get to appreciate their different relationship to different other characters, so that when something important happens, like in this movie when a Garfield's character dies, you're supposed to be shocked, you're supposed to be sad, you're supposed to feel something. But I felt like, I've seen him like 15-minute top in the movie, Yeah,
I feel like there are also so many scenes in which there are so many characters in the scene.
Yeah.
Like the dinner party, the Christmas event right before the wedding, all of those scenes. There's like everyone is there And sometimes I was looking at the characters and I was like, is this the same way as before? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, you see there's
It's
one too many
confusing.
sister, there's also like two too many suitors, right?
Yeah, exactly. The one of the suitors, I'm like, is he actually in love with any of the girls or is he just there? I couldn't really tell.
Ernest, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't explore any of those relationships enough, like you said, for us to care about
When something happens, yeah.
One of the sisters gets married pretty early on. They don't even show it. It's like in the next scene, bang, she's married.
But even the big scene of the movie, right? The wedding that doesn't happen. She sends a telegraph like, I get married to Mickey instead.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be the moment, that and of course Mickey is dead, where you're like, oh my god, that's the emotional core of the movie. That's where everything changes. But everything happens so fast, the scene...
We don't even see that. Like her running away with the guy, with the other guy, with Mickey.
We barely see her struggling with the decision to get married, There's like one or two scenes about that. And then...
Well, there's the one scene when she finds out that her sister is in love with her fiancé.
Yeah, but then the next scene, the wedding is cancelled and it's months later.
Exactly. So there's no build-up in between, no nothing. It's like,
Yeah. And I feel like we sound way more down on this movie than we actually are. This is not a bad movie. This is just a movie that...
It's such a Sunday afternoon movie.
Yeah, exactly.
You just watch it and you're like, oh, this is so nice. Look at this family. I mean, nice and sad at times. Like, look at this family. They have all of these stories. It's just for an Academy Award movie.
Best Picture
movie. Mwah.
I expect the movie to at least have one element that makes me think, oh, this is why you were nominated.
Right.
Often that element is a message, a treatment of the subject matter, or even technological prowess.
Or a character. It could be a character.
Yeah, also.
Like the character representing something new, an idea or something like this. So.
But at least one thing, whatever that one thing may be, that makes you think, this is one of the movies that pushed the boundary this year. This is one of the best movies of the year. Not sure I can say that about this. Well, I haven't watched all the movies of 1938, but this doesn't feel like that, right?
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about suitors, sisters, and
so
all
many characters in this movie.
Let's take a look at who those characters are and the cast and crew behind this movie. The movie was directed by Michael Curtis, who was the director of Captain Blood and The Adventures of Robin Hood. Now, interesting information about Curtis here is that he was nominated for Best Director for this movie. But Curtis found himself in the strange position where he was competing against himself in the Best Director category.
For Robin Hood?
No, not for Robin Hood. He was busy that year. So yeah, of course, he was nominated for Four Daughters, but also for Angels with Dirty Faces, another movie that came out in 1938 from him. Unfortunately, though, for him, I guess, he kind of canceled himself out in terms of vote, and so Frank Capra went ahead and won the award that year. So the movie stars Priscilla Lane as Anne Lemp, Rosemary Lane as Kay Lemp, and Lola Lane as Thea Lemp.
So these are the three sisters.
So these are the three sisters. These are the Lane sisters who were members of a family of acting sisters. There was another sister actually acting, but also singing trio, these three.
They didn't pick the other sister to be
the other sister didn't have as big of a career as the others.
Okay.
But interesting that they would get real sisters to play in this movie about sisters, right?
I guess, it works. It's a smart decision, maybe. How often can that happen,
Yeah.
How often are you looking for, like, three sisters and... Surprise! You have three sisters who are all actors.
Yeah. So what did you think of the sisters? Well, let's name the fourth one, right? Let's not leave her out. Gail Page plays Emma Lemp, the fourth sister.
I feel like the sisters, all four of them, I feel like they really felt their characters. You could see distinctive traits in all of them, and even though some of the sisters were kind of in the background, two of the sisters were kind of in the background, but they do have, particularities, specific traits that distinguish them from each other.
Yeah, definitely, I can agree with that. Like, all the sisters felt different.
Yeah.
And the characters then
And I feel like, that's a good thing because considering how many characters there are in this movie, I feel like it would have been easy for them to all end up playing the same role.
especially since it's kind of similar roles, right? Daughter of a musician who
Yeah.
herself is a musician and who is in love with Felix. They're all in
They're
love
only
with
love with
Felix.
Felix, yes.
It's kind of the same role, but
Yeah.
they play it differently because each sister has their own personality.
Exactly.
Speaking of, Jeffrey Lynn plays Felix Dates in this movie. What did you think of him? One of the many suitors, probably the main one.
I feel like the scene where he's introduced is kind of like it's quite memorable for the movie.
Well, yeah, they call back to it at the end, right? With the fences.
With the fences,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. Other than that, though, I feel like he doesn't shine much, and I feel like he could have.
It's interesting because I think that both Felix and Garfield's character are, and we'll get to Garfield in a second, are interesting characters. The way they're written, their personalities,
Yeah.
for what we see of them. But we don't see very much of them, right?
I feel like with Garfield's character, you see more.
A little bit more, but just in the sense that you see more of him alone. Felix is always in these scenes with 20 other people in them.
And with all the girls around
Yeah,
him.
exactly. But when he's introduced, the way he's quirky, quick to have these one-liners with the dad, with the sisters, he kind of seems like he has an interesting personality. You want to see more of him, but very quickly, like we said, he falls into the group of background people, even though he's one of the central characters.
Yeah.
Right? And then we have John Garfield, who plays Mickey Borden. Interesting fact about that is that this was Garfield's debut film, his first movie, and he got the nomination for Best Supporting Actor.
That's nice. I like his performance. I really did, and I feel like, as I said before, we see more of him than of Lynn's character, and I feel like that gives him more time to, build up the character, so that maybe just a little bit at the end when he dies, you're like,
You care in the sense that, of course, it's a sad moment.
Yeah.
You care regardless, but like me personally, there was very little attachment to the character. The closest we get was when he was having that conversation about going to South America, So he's opening up about his dreams, about his aspiration. Life is not easy for him, but there's this one chance he wants to do this.
I thought it worked because of how they played it even before, like the moments leading up to his death, is that he gets a lot of money from Felix.
Yeah.
And it immediately made me think, because of what I saw of his character before, I thought, oh, he's gonna take the money and leave her and go to America, or drag her with him to America, one of those, South America, right? Yeah. But then no, it's a little bit of a twist there, for his character, because he ends up dying.
Yeah. When you saw that death scene, what were your thoughts? Did you think it's an accident?
I thought it's an accident.
So reading about it, it's written as a suicide.
Really?
That's kind of not clear, right?
Not at all.
Yeah.
I didn't think for 1 second that it would be a suicide scene. I was sure it's an accident.
Well, I'm
like
not
I
sure.
thought, what I thought was that he was just like, he was conflicted, he wasn't focused, he wasn't paying attention, and then it's slippery, it's snowing.
Just you're emotional, so you're going fast on the road.
Exactly. Then it's an accident.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But when I read like some different synopsis, it was saying like, after realizing that Felix and his wife were actually meant to be together, he's down and kills himself.
I feel like it makes more sense like this, because what I thought when I saw that the scene of him dying was that the writers are just writing him out of the story because they want Anne and Felix to end up together, but they don't want to write like a breakup or anything like this. So they're like, we're just gonna kill him off. There's an accident, he dies, and there you have your happy ending.
Yeah.
But it makes more sense for the story if it's a suicide, because it's the character's choice. It's the character's realization that he's hindering
their happiness.
Exactly. And his wife's happiness, whom he loves actually, he loves her a lot. He says so several times.
And he himself always felt like he had nothing, right? When they live together in New York, they don't have much, they were poor, but he's happy because he's with her.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to go to South America, so there's all that dynamic, right, of him feeling like he's a hindrance to her.
Yes.
Not only in love's term, but professionally and
But it didn't translate well. I did
No.
not see that as a
suicide.
suicide
Yeah.
at all. Like, I didn't even think about it.
Mhm. Interesting. It definitely gives another color to the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought Garfield to me was the highlight of the movie. The movie was nominated for 5 Academy Awards. We've already mentioned a few of them. Of course, Best Picture, which is why we've watched it. Best Director for Michael Curtis. Best Supporting Actor, John Garfield. Best Screenplay for Leonard Coffey and Julius J. Epstein, based on the story Sister Act by Fanny Hurst. And Best Sound Recording for Nathan Levinson.
That was pretty good. We didn't even mention it. There's quite a lot of singing in this movie.
There is, right?
Yeah. I really enjoyed the singing parts.
You tend to forget. I'm curious to hear the Frank Sinatra version. I'm sure there would be a lot
Oh
of
my
singing
gosh,
in that
yes.
too. Mhm.
Who does Frank Sinatra play though? Because none of the suitors
He plays
sing.
Garfield's character.
Okay.
But instead of being a pianist, he is a songwriter.
Okay. They had to give him a singing part, of course.
Yeah.
Come on.
But the movie, was popular nonetheless, both amongst audience and critics. We saw how many nominations it got, but also it got many sequels, 2 sequels actually. The storyline of these 4 daughters was continued in a 1940 movie called 4 Wives, and then in a 1941 movie called 4 Mothers.
So I guess, it's the kind of characters that people can get attached to, and I see it. Like I said, I don't think this is a bad movie. Maybe you noticed from the way we talked about the characters individually that most of them are actually, we actually enjoyed them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the movie as a whole...
It's missing a core. It's missing a true line, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Again, when I see all these sequels, I'm reminded of Little Women and its many sequels, right?
Yeah.
People want to follow these characters throughout their lives. So, Anna, is there anything that we haven't talked about in terms of this movie that you want to touch on?
No, I think we're good.
Yes, so would you recommend 4 Daughters?
I'm always having a hard time with movies like this because, as I said, this is a nice Sunday afternoon movie. This is not, a best picture movie in my opinion.
Mm.
So I wouldn't not recommend it. I think it's a nice movie. It's enjoyable. It's nice to watch and all of that. But maybe if you're looking for the best of the 30s kind of movies or something like this would not make the list.
In this kind of situation, tempted to always go with, if a movie does something that is very similar to something else, but not in a better way, then I'm not going to recommend it. I'm just going to tell you to go watch the other movie. And in this case, I'm going to tell you, go watch Little Women.
Right.
A very similar setting,
Yeah.
but much better
Told
outcome.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Anna, it's time for our ranking. Of course, for every year of the Academy Award, we rank the movies that were nominated for that year according to our preferences. Right now, we're going to be ranking the 1938 movies from the 11th Academy Award. And our ranking as of now is number 4, The Citadel. Number 3, Boys Town. Number 2, The Adventures of Robin Hood. Number 1, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Now, where would you put 4 Daughters?
I would put it at number 4.
At number 4, so above The Citadel.
Yes.
What is your impetus there? What makes you go above Citadel for this one?
I feel like both these movies kind of have issues in their storytelling. The Citadel not being so coherent and well put together, while this movie not having a core center element that makes the focus of the movie. And if I have to choose between these 2 problems, I feel like the movie being disconnected and incoherent is a bigger issue. So then I will put it below, that being The Citadel.
A movie is characters, right? A movie is, of course, storytelling and visuals, but it's characters also.
Yeah.
The characters in this movie, 4 Daughters, in my opinion, are much better written than the characters in The Citadel.
And it shouldn't have been the case because this movie has so many characters that are sharing a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
While The Citadel only has 2 main characters and then 2 other characters that are there.
Appear here and there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they should have had more time to develop characters.
But in this case, right, the issue was not, like we said, that the characters were bad. The characters themselves are interesting. You know,
Yeah.
Felix is an interesting character. Anne is an interesting character.
Right.
So yeah, we're going to agree on that one and put Four Daughters at number 4,
Yeah.
which means that our new ranking is at number 5, The Citadel; at number 4, Four Daughters; at number 3, Boys Town; at number 2, The Adventures of Robin Hood; and number 1, Alexander's Ragtime Band.
You know, I'm looking at this list, advancing, and I'm realizing now that whereas in previous years the movies would kind of compete for the top 3 and like push other movies down, here we're kind of like keep adding movies to the bottom.
To the bottom, yeah.
Yeah.
Here we're kind of all in
Right.
mediocre.
I gotta say, Alexander's Ragtime Band is obviously the best movie on this list, but if it was on another year's list,
Yeah, we'd
I
kind of
don't
be in the
think
middle,
it would,
right?
it would kind of be in the middle,
Yeah.
yes.
So that's interesting. We still have half the movies of the year left, so we'll see
We're still
if
hopeful.
it picks up, yeah. But that was it for our review of the 1938 movie Four Daughters. If you like this video, I invite you to hit the like button, comment in the comment section below if you've seen the movie and you have your own thoughts about it. Maybe you disagree with us, so let us know. Subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed already, and go check out some of our other videos. They're about many different things, not only movies.
Bucket
We do traveling, self-growth, anime, games, etc., etc. It's a bucket list. There's anything and everything on it. Go check some of that stuff out. And don't forget that if, just like Mickey, wanted to go to South America but didn't know how to do it, you have a goal or dream you want to realize, you have to take that first step.
Bye bye.